in addition to the primary this week, there's also something else happening this week, a debate between Joe Biden, sitting president, and Donald Trump, former president of the United States. There's interesting rules around the debate. There's no audience, which
I like that.
I think is good. They're turning off the mics after each person speaks, which I think is a mistake.
Totally.
For Biden. And he, I think, wanted that rule. I think it was a mistake.
Well, because remember when Trump collapsed on himself in the last go-around these two guys had? It was when he just went absolutely bonkers and kept interrupting Biden. It was a bad look for him.
Bad look for him. Also, I just remember The Jinx, that documentary on HBO.
Yeah.
Where Durst, went to the bathroom and announced, like, of course I did it. I killed them all.
It started
and
spoiler alert.
You want that, if you haven't watched The Jinx, that was like 10 years ago.
No, I know. It was very good. Yeah.
But The Jinx 2 is also worth seeing. Anyways, Donald Trump is going to be supposedly attending this debate. We'll see. Here is Steve Bannon discussing the presidential debate and refers to it as a trap. Incidentally, we should just say, for the sake of clarity, Steve Bannon only has about 2 more weeks until he goes to jail. And apparently he didn't get the white-collar country club jail that he wanted. He went to, it's a little bit more, little less vacation-y for him.
This Thursday debate is totally 100% rigged. They've got control of the microphone, and now they'll show you. And please tell me where the unreasonable debate is. I would like you to repeat National Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, just Jake Tapper's, the couple things you put out about Jake Tapper a minute ago. And please tell me, public, that is not worthy of a discussion, not to be cut off. Just repeat that. Just do the Jake Tapper thing again, will you, Caroline?
Yeah, most heinously, he has compared President Trump to Hitler multiple times on various occasions. He pushed the Hunter Biden laptop Russian collusion lie, which we know was not a smear campaign by Russia, like Joe Biden and Jake Tapper like to say. It was real. Jake Tapper has never apologized for that. Jake Tapper was one of the lead voices in the Russia hoax, the Charlottesville lie that has also been debunked just yesterday by a left-wing fact checker. And Jake Tapper described President Trump's presidency as a long American nightmare. Those are his words, not mine. These are opinions that he has made evident on CNN, on air. Yet they don't want spokespeople and defenders of the president to go on that same network and bring them up. It is, it speaks to a larger problem we have in this country, Steve, as you were just pointing out, that we have an entire...
there's 2 things that occur to me. One, they must be terrified about Trump's performance because they're so desperately trying to come up with all sorts of excuses as to why this. Incidentally, it's not like when Donald Trump agreed to doing the CNN debate, he didn't know that it was CNN. It wasn't like he confused it with CNN.
Right.
I mean, they knew what they were signing up for.
I thought it was CBS.
He and I have to definitely debate. That's what I love. I love that.
Also, I could barely focus on what this woman's saying because the place that she got the Botox, I can't, Liz, I have no problem with people getting Botox, enjoy, but I just can't. The distance between her nose and her lips are just it's just
it's the fillers. I gotta be
no, it's not the fillers for me. It's just part. Well, I got a mustache there, but I don't know.
Fillers are
it's distracting me. I just want to apologize.
No, I understand. Botox just makes your face not move. Fillers makes your face look weird. I'm telling you. I think it's the fillers. I think that's what I'm going for there. But
I believe Emma.
But what'd you say?
I believe you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for believing women. This also pairs with, we played this on Friday. Trump is now reversing course entirely when he went on that all-in podcast with those VC guys about how Biden's going to perform, because they've been saying for months at this point that Biden can't string a sentence together. right?
He gets freaking sentenced together.
They've been saying that he'll be horrible, that he'll poop his pants or whatever. Like
Jake Tapper's going to put it on it, but he's going to wipe his pants.
they've immediately pivoted. And maybe it's because Trump is just so scattered in pre-debate prep or something, or they have some internal numbers, but they've immediately pivoted to like, Biden actually is probably going to do well, and also it's rigged against us from the start.
Keep going.
To go on that same network and bring them up. It is, it speaks to a larger problem we have in this country, Steve, as you were just pointing out, that we have an entire institution in this country, the fake news mainstream media, that covers up the truth and pushes lies. And the bias of omission is arguably the most dangerous bias of all, because they will refuse to just let anyone talk about these truths that they don't want their audience to know, whether it's truths about Jake Tapper, whether it's truths about migrant illegal criminal aliens who are brutally raping and murdering innocent civilians across this country. They don't want to report on those facts because they don't want Americans to know about them. And it's quite scary. It's communism, really.
It's communism.
An organizing principle, when you talk about businesses and you do financial analysis and talk about financing businesses, you always go back to what's the organizing principle of this business? The organizing principle of CNN is a hatred of Donald Trump in the MAGA movement. To the core of their being, they hate, not disagree, not have policy differences. They hate Donald J. Trump, and they hate the MAGA movement. Now, Caroline, I've known you for many years. You're not somebody who's ever going to defend yourself. You're just going to get on with it. But I tell you, for this audience, we need to contact the Trump. Like I said, the Trump team is pound for pound as best as you could ever get. These are hard-nosed, tough people. This thing with CNN, Caroline Leavitt, in all her class and discernment and judgment today, approved a point that Cassie Hunt, one of the rising stars over there, right, for their big early morning show, one of their rising stars, and the producer in her ear made an institutional choice not to actually discuss and debate facts, but to not just cut the mic, but to totally dump with no respect. They've not contacted her. This is not acceptable. It's not acceptable as an institution. It's not acceptable for the Trump second term. It's not acceptable for Trump's campaign today, for the institution of CNN. And let me say the quiet part out loud. Donald J. Trump gave CNN, from a business perspective, a life preserver. It is a dying business. It's sinking. It's missing its numbers. And Trump went and said, CNN, you can do it first. It'll be the most watched political event, I think, in modern history. And President Trump graciously, because he's a class guy,
so classy,
went and did that and essentially bailed out. What he's doing on Thursday will bail them out for the entire year.
Are you all right? Like the get off your knees, buddy. I mean,
he's
Jesus.
doing PPD analysis. This is all they do now. Is like, I'm a businessman. This is a great deal. This is going to do numbers.
But
like, what are you talking about?
well,
this is what Trump, did in 2016 too. It's like, it's all about crowd size, and I'm making the money, and
but it's PPD stuff. But it's a blend of like also almost royal worship for like the way he says he's doing them just to grace them with his presence. He's doing them the biggest favor. The level of sycophancy.
Well,
it's also giving him an excuse to pull out if he wants to. Like maybe you don't want
that's what's going on here. Is it's sort of like you're building. I mean, I don't think he's going to pull out, but they're certainly building up to the notion of like, this is totally rigged. It's amazing how many things are rigged that involve Donald Trump. It really is.
It just shows
shocking.
how much he's up against, Sam.
Let's go to that. It was referenced by Steve Bannon that Cassie Hunt or Casey Hunt,
the new star.
It's a new
what
star.
are you talking about?
Was speaking with Trump campaign press secretary Caroline Leavitt about the upcoming debate. Leavitt, of course, immediately went to Steve Bannon after this. And this, again, is all about the Trump people trying to, maintain expectations. And the problem they have, and they've had this problem from the very beginning, Joe Biden is both a criminal mastermind running a massive crime family but also too inept to bend over and tie his shoes. Now, I happen to think that he would have a problem bending over and tying his shoes. But this is the dilemma they've created for himself as a political matter. How can a guy who can barely talk beat Donald Trump in a debate? And
also beat him one time before. I mean, that undercuts he's such a pathetic loser narrative.
So old. Now he's so old.
3 years later, yeah. You know who's older? That guy too, who's also seemingly losing it.
But they've got to just make sure that they have a lot of like narratives that are at least they've started the first chapter of these narratives, or maybe the first third, so that they can pick it up in the event that Donald Trump fails against Biden. And so here is Carolyn Leavitt, Trump's press secretary.
To Joe Biden, can you tell us what Donald Trump is going to do differently on the debate stage this time?
Sure. Well, President Trump is well prepared ahead of Thursday's debates. Unlike Joe Biden, he doesn't have to hide away and have his advisors tell him what to say. President Trump knows what he wants to say, and he's going to relay his vision to the American people to make this country strong, safe, secure, and wealthy again. He's been doing that across this great nation to all corners of this country. That's why he was in Detroit, Michigan last week. He was in Philadelphia for a big rally on Saturday night, and that's why President Trump is knowingly going into a hostile environment on this very network on CNN with debate moderators who have made their opinions about him very well known over the past 8 years and their biased coverage of him. So President Trump is willing to bring his message to every corner of this country, to voters, to ensure that he wins this election in November. He looks forward to doing that, and I know the American public look forward to hearing from him.
So I'll just say my colleagues, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, have acquitted themselves as professionals as they have covered campaigns and interviewed candidates from all sides of the aisle. I'll also say that if you talk to analysts of debates previous, that if you're attacking the moderators, you're usually losing. So I really want to focus in on what these two men are going to do and say when they stand on the stage. Now we have a little bit of what Donald Trump, your boss, has said in trying to set expectations for this debate. I want to play a series of his comments, and then we'll talk about it. Watch.
Well, maybe I'm better off losing the debate. I'll make sure he says I'll lose the debate on purpose. Maybe I'll do something like that.
I assume he's going to be somebody that will be a worthy debater. Should I be tough and nasty and just say you're the worst president in history? Or should I be nice and calm and let him speak?
So he's basically saying there, well, will I let Joe Biden win? It does seem as though many Republicans have set the bar very low in terms of arguing that Joe Biden is basically senile. Now you have people like Doug Burgum coming out and saying, well, President Biden's very accomplished, trying to set expectations in a different place. What do you expect from Joe Biden?
Well, first of all, it would take someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently,
we're going to stop this interview if you're going to keep attacking my colleagues.
Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I'm willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate.
The thing about Trump is you're very unfair to him.
Unfair. Perfect example of why I can't get a fair shake. I think I'm going to cancel the debate.
I don't really care about besmirching the colleagues or whatever. I mean, of course, like it's a little precious. I understand.
They're very, very sensitive to this at those networks, is my understanding.
That's what it seems to be the case. But it is funny, though, to see that montage of Trump, because it is such a departure from how he was presenting himself before. And he's already saying, should I just lose the debate? He's setting the expectation.
I'm going to lose it on purpose. Just to make senile Joe overconfident.
I am magnanimous.
That's the way I'm going to do. Actually, you know what? I think this is going to be too much of a slaughter, so I'm going to lose the debate just so that it continues to be erased. Because I feel bad that people might not make as much money on TV. So I'll make it like it's a close race.
I like that he's like, should I be really restrained? Should I do a thing that I'm actually constitutionally not capable of doing?
Yeah, right. And because he wants the crowd to be like, no, go for his throat. We don't get.
Well, what are you
We want to
doing?
see elder abuse.
What he's doing is he is building in the critique for everything.
Yeah.
Remember I said I would be restrained. Like if he gets cowed, he doesn't know how to handle it, and he just clams up. Remember I said I thought I'd do that? That's what I decided to do.
I was
Or
presidential.
remember I said maybe I poop my pants, and that's what I decided to do. I pooped my pants because I thought, oh, it's gonna be funny if Joe's like, what smells? And that's what I did. That's why I did it.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be funny with no audience in there where he has no one to play to.
100%.
Yeah, that's actually true. I mean, I don't think that the muting them when the other one's not speaking is the best move for Biden. But the fact that there's no crowd,
You'll still be able to hear him.
Trump likes to feed off a crowd. He's a crowd surfer by
I
trade.
just can't imagine that Trump is not going to try and walk over and be intimidating in front of Biden. Like,
The handshake.
Yeah.
He's gonna do his classic. Have you seen those montages
Yeah,
of
where he
him
does,
pulling
like,
people in? He's gonna do it and try to knock Biden to the ground.
I mean, it's gonna be something. It really is gonna be something to watch. Again, we will be covering that
Live.
Thursday night live,
Having fun.
out on the trail. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.